United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia are leading international condemnation of the Taliban after it announced it was banning women from higher education in Afghanistan. Girls and women are now shut off completely from all avenues of education in the country. Dubai and Riyadh called the decision by Kabul un-Islamic. Well, to talk more about that, we're joined by Dr. Najat Al-Saeed. She's assistant professor at the American University in the Emirates. Thank you very much indeed for being with us, Najat. Great to see you again. This is, isn't it, the first time that we've heard such strong condemnation of the Taliban from the UAE and Saudi Arabia. Why do you think it was this announcement in particular that caused such anger?
Well, it caused such an anger because it is, first of all, it's giving a bad image for Muslim countries, and also they were expecting something like this from Taliban. Well, Laura, as much as I want to be optimistic to be on that topic, going back to Taliban history and their violent treatment of women since 1996. Even with this strong condemnation of UAE and Saudi Arabia, will not change anything. In fact, I'm not surprised at all of the Taliban decision. And I was expecting that since day one after the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021. I'm actually surprised of the international community's reaction. What were they expecting from Taliban? The only thing that helped Afghani women throughout history to face Taliban's violence is the international intervention. Looking externally at the situation, I didn't see a path forward without a dramatic shift of power in the country. This is how I look at it.
Well, of course, Europe and the United States have strongly condemned the Taliban, as you say. But do you think that the Taliban are more likely to pay attention to the criticism coming from Riyadh and coming from the UAE than they are from the West?
I don't think so, because honestly, it has been the failure of the U.S. policy that has led to the Taliban being in control at this point. So there are very limited options now. The failure of the U.S. policy made them so confident and put them in control. So no matter how much the UAE and Saudi Arabia's strong condemnation, it won't change anything. The only solution now is to try to drag the Taliban into the center. And the United States couldn't do that by itself, of course. And here comes the role of Arab Gulf states such as the UAE and Saudi Arabia by putting pressure on Taliban through their commercial and financial relationship. Here comes the true pressure.
So how do leaders in the Gulf believe then it is the best way to deal with the Taliban? Should they be isolated on the world stage and subjected to sanctions? Or is it better to engage with them and affect commercial trade, as you point out?
They have to play with everything possible. It depends on the situation. If they were headstrong and do not want to change anything completely, here comes the sanction. But it has to go gradual. First of all, to pressure them through the commercial and financial relationship. But if they didn't change anything completely, here comes the sanctions. So they have to play with them gradually.
Is there not a risk, though, Najat, that sanctions will hurt a population that is already starving, that is already suffering so much? This will hurt aid agencies trying to get assistance to people that need it the most?
Of course it will hurt them, but with Taliban, with such a mentality, look what they are doing. Do you think a government that is dealing with women like this, and of course it's not only women, but women are the most fragile part. Do you think they will be caring about development, progression, or anything? So definitely, you won't see any kind of progression through such a regime. So I was honestly expecting that from day one after the U.S. withdrawal and giving Afghanistan to Taliban on a golden plate. something like this is so expected. They don't care about sanctions, they don't care about development, but they care about their own power. So if you play with this kind of power by pressuring this kind of commercial and financial relationship, this is when what matters for them, not the people.